Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a huge puzzle in the job market. Everybody's talking about skills, but companies, well, they still seem to be hiring for degrees. We're going to break down why this is happening and what it really means for the future of your career. Okay, let's kick things off with a number that should really make you sit up and pay attention. 39%. According to the World Economic Forum, that's how much of your core job skills, the stuff you do every single day, is expected to change by 2030. Think about that. Nearly 2/5 of your job could look totally different in just a few short years. So, what's behind this huge disruption? Well, it's basically a perfect storm of massive global trends. You've got the green transition creating a need for all new environmental skills, plus these huge shifts in technology and demographics that are just rewriting the entire rulebook for how we work. But, when you ask global employers what the single biggest driver of change is, one thing stands out way above the rest: technology. I mean, look at this chart. A whopping 86% of businesses expect AI to transform how they operate. It's the engine, plain and simple, behind this whole reshuffle. All right, so this brings us to our first big idea, the great job reshuffle. Because all of this change is creating what you might call a tale of two completely different job markets. What we're seeing is this incredible split. On one side, you've got these highly technical, future-facing jobs just booming. And on the other side? Well, those are the jobs that are getting automated. And that divide is just getting wider and wider every single year. And yeah, when you look at the actual data, this split becomes undeniable. The jobs growing the fastest are all about data, AI, and software. And the ones declining the fastest? Administrative roles like data entry clerks and bank tellers, jobs that automation is really good at. But hold on, this isn't just a story about tech jobs. Because when you stop looking at the percentage of growth and start looking at the raw number of new jobs being created, the picture changes. You see, practical, service-oriented jobs, like delivery drivers and construction workers, are also set to be some of the biggest areas of growth. So when you put it all together, what's the bottom line? Despite all the disruption, the forecast is for a net growth of 78 million jobs worldwide by 2030. The jobs are going to be there, which makes what we're about to talk about really strange. And that leads us right into this massive puzzle, what we're calling the skills paradox. If all these millions of new jobs are being created, why do we hear constantly about a talent shortage? Well, it turns out businesses are all saying the same thing. The biggest thing holding them back from transforming their companies is that they can't find people with the right skills. They see the future, but they feel like they don't have the team to build it. And this, right here, is the million-dollar question. If skills are the new currency, you'd expect companies to be testing for skills, right? But is that what's actually happening? Or are they just falling back on old habits, using outdated shortcuts to guess who might be capable? This chart just lays the contradiction bare. On the one hand, great news. Almost half of employers say they're going to use skills tests. But right next to that, you see that 43% will still require a university degree. It's like they're trying to hire for the jobs of tomorrow using a filter from yesterday. And if you want to see just how deep this disconnect goes, look no further. Of the 15 fastest growing jobs of the future, the very roles we need to fill, a staggering 14 of them still list a university degree as a primary requirement. So we're in this bizarre situation where we desperately need new skills, but we're putting up these old walls that block millions of perfectly capable people from even getting in the door. Okay, so this whole system is clearly creating a bottleneck. That brings us to our next part, reskilling for the future. How do we actually fix this and bridge the gap between the talent we have and the opportunities that are right there waiting? So what's the answer? Well, the big idea gaining traction is something called a skills-first approach. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's about flipping the whole hiring process on its head. Instead of starting with someone's resume or education history, you start by focusing on what they can actually do. It means investing in training, using real-world tests, and, this is the big one, getting rid of degree requirements that aren't actually necessary for the job. And the good news is there's actually some real momentum here. About half of the entire workforce has already done some kind of reskilling or upskilling. So people are doing the work, they're learning. Now the hiring process just needs to catch up with them. All right, for our last section, let's talk about the role technology really plays in all this. It's not just about disruption. Let's look at it as the human-machine team. You see, the future isn't a story of humans versus machines for jobs. It's about humans and machines becoming an incredible team. The real growth is in that collaboration zone where we work together. And this is where this idea of augmentation really comes into play. It's so important. Think about it. Instead of replacing you, AI becomes your superpower. It gives you expert tools right at your fingertips, helping you solve bigger, tougher problems way faster than you could on your own. So when you boil it all down, this isn't really a fight between degrees and skills. It's about something much bigger. Building a smarter, fairer system that really values what you can actually do, not just the piece of paper that says where you learned it. So look, this isn't about throwing degrees in the trash, not at all. The real question for all of us, for companies, for schools, for every single one of us in the workforce, is this. How do we build a system that can actually value both? A system that recognizes foundational knowledge, but also celebrates and hires for proven, real-world skills. That's the puzzle we all need to solve.